Lads, lasses, and all of God's masses, welcome back. My legal name is C28. It's, I'm not even going to mention the, I did mention the time just now, but, yeah, I'm about to graduate full sail. It's, it's been a long journey. I've been absent from these video logs for so long. So long. Let's actually go on a little adventure to see how long it's actually been. Okay. Wow. So looking at the last video log, vlog 101, this being 102, the last class I even talked about was the beginning of session recording. Wow. Okay. I hope I didn't complain about that class too much, but yeah, there are, some complaints from that class. Let's get you up to speed. So, from session recording, how many classes have I had? Let's see. Let's go to online.fullsail.edu. And go to my past classes. Oh, wow, it's been a minute. So, since then, I've had history of recorded music, vocal production, professional writing, project and portfolio 4, another one, audio post-production, advanced audio workstations, project and portfolio 4, another one. So the first portfolio 4 is the first 4, and the second 4 is the second 4. That's how math works. Art history, sound design for games, and now I'm in project and portfolio 5, the 6th portfolio class for me. I've got a lot to talk about. Let's go down through each of these one by one, and I'll give you a little spiel about the class. I feel terrible that I've been missing out on these, but also, yeah, Full Sail gets busier about, well, when I stop doing these. So hopefully that's an indication of be ready. So let's get started. First up, I guess I could do a final closure on session recording. I don't know if I touched on that too much from Vlog 101. I know I was doing all the fancy effects in here that were rubbish. So no green screen, real environment. I'm not doing that. Why was I doing that? That's a waste of time. I'm not doing that. Session recording was a class that allowed you to get that real experience of working in a studio session. And so Full Sail will have pro musicians that come over and you record them. It's very straightforward, isn't it? The main thing in this class that you're going to learn is your signal flow. That is the bread and butter of this class, signal flow. I think that the class was taken to a bit of an extreme with the grading, because you can either get a 100, 80, or 60 in your assignments with your group or by yourself. And I understand the intent. The intent's totally legit. Totally legit. The intent is you either know signal flow or you don't, because it either works or it doesn't work. So your grade kind of reflects that, technically with some leeway with the 80. I don't like that. There's so many things to keep in mind with how the patch bay is operating with different equipment. And for someone who's new to it, I was new to it, it's very overwhelming. No matter how much you read, it's going to take time to really get it down, muscle memory. And I'm at the point now where, after going through a few discovery workshops, I understand now. And it's like, oh, well, of course, you have your mic bay goes to your preamp on the console. That feeds down into the channel input, and then this goes here. Blah, 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 blah. You get the idea. But that stuff isn't intuitive, because you have to kind of map that in your head. Otherwise, you just see, here are a bunch of patch points and a lot of equipment, and I don't know how it connects. And looking on the back don't help too much, because it's just not a mess of wires. They're actually very neat, but still, DB25s and whatnot, and your Avid HDX card interface, whatever you have. Probably a carbon, to be honest. but I don't think they run carbons there. They run something else. I forget what it is they have. I think it's just like the 64X. Yeah. But that class was very, very educational, as most of the classes are. But of all the classes, this is maybe the most educational class that there is, as far as being an audio engineer goes. Signal flow is quite important. So this is the only class that I actually had a B in. Whoa, C2A had a B. I know, it ruined my perfect 4.0 GPA. I was so miffed. I was like, no, this, because it's your teammates. I like, don't blame your teammates, but like, just saying, if I got 100 on my solo stuff and a 60 on the team stuff, what's the common denominator? But in fairness, I probably didn't know signal flow very well if I were doing that by myself. So yeah, I probably would have got like an 80 or 60 still. Just because the grading's so hard. You missed literally 2 things and you're out. It's like, sorry, bye-bye. Yeah, if the sound doesn't work at all, actually, I think you get a 60. So if there's no audio output, 60. But it's like, it makes sense, but it's also very harsh. Because you could make one mistake where you've accidentally plugged in a cable 1 patch point to the right or top or bottom. And it's like, well, sure, that's a very critical mistake. But also, you mostly knew what you were doing. So 95 maybe, not 60. Yeah. All in all, the class is fantastic. And the next class I have coming up after this portfolio class that I'm just in, which I'll talk about eventually, is advanced session recording, which, oh my goodness, is a lot. It's easily 3 times, some people say 10 times more work than that class was. And it is the most intense class, the culmination of all your stuff in Full Sail. Yeah. Stressful. So, next class. Next up, we got history of recorded music. This class goes through different genres throughout time, how we went from ska and reggae and what's the slow one? I forgot the slow one, but it's like a down-tempo ska kind of thing, to rock, to pop, to synths and whatnot. You have a little project in that class where you map out how one artist is connected all the way back to another artist. So I did Rez connected all the way to, I think, Paul Anka or someone like that. What was the connection I did? I actually want to look at my assignment. What did I do? So it starts out with, can we reject all those? Thank you. Yeah. So I went from Rez to Skrillex to Daft Punk to Giorgio Moroder to Paul Anka to Frank Sinatra. Wild little run. Anyway, they're connected. I don't need to go through the whole assignment and like grade myself, but get there, do. So let's go back to the next class we got, which is vocal production. Vocal production was awesome. I loved vocal production. It's easily one of my top 3 classes in the entire degree program thus far. It was fantastic. It shows you how to use audio editing tools or vocal editing tools to be specific. So Melodyne, I ended up just like buying Melodyne 5 Studio because brilliant software, and I absolutely fell in love with vocal editing. There's a club that I was a part of going through this called Frequency. Still part of it. In fact, vice president right now. So I've climbed the ranks. Frequency is a fun club. It's a collaborative community where people can come together and work on projects, and we get to empower the artists to showcase their work with performances. It's brilliant. Great place for people to connect and try new things. So I had a group where we were doing this like 80s pop style. DJ was our producer. He was brilliant. Loved the work that he did. I was the project manager over it all. So kind of got in this like synth 80s feel to it. And my team did fantastic. We had Allison as our vocalist, and Allison did a brilliant job. But what we did now is we used the vocal production techniques, or I use them in editing. So doing different vocal takes. So you don't just sing your lines once and then go until it's perfect. Even if you do get a great take, still you'll do what's called comping, which is where you take multiple takes, and it sounds insane because it is. You will take vowels, consonants, words, however much, only what's perfect and amazing. And then you just push it up, and you have this track on top on your playlist That's your active working track. And you just cherry pick from the takes which word was the best, which was not the best. And you push them up. And you edit down to the zero crossing point where you see the volt go to zero. The voltage go to zero, not -1, not +1, 0. And you edit those back to back to back to back to back, making sure that it lines up. And we learned about this like DNA of the voice where you can see a very clear pattern in the waveform. And that pattern is always there in your voice. You see this now for each sound you make. So when I go ah, you see this very stable waveform thing. And I would love to show you, but I actually don't want to show you because it's a lot of work. I have all these other classes to go through. So I need to go through this quickly, which is why I'm upset that I didn't record these because there's so much great info I could have given you, but I unfortunately allowed myself to succumb to I guess overload, and I just stopped doing these. So vocal production was great. Put the comps on there and then use Melodyne to control different aspects of it. Your vibrato, your pitch, your timing. Timing is so huge. And Melodyne's timing engine is amazing. Way better than Elastic Audio. Elastic Audio gives you an absolutely insane amount of artifacting. But yeah, Melodyne's great. I can hear like sounds in my voice. So I'm going to drink real quick. Water. Okay, I got my water. Cool. So yeah, vocal production, fantastic. In this class, you go through a few different labs where you're editing vocals that are pre-recorded and test out your skills. Learning how to use Melodyne. Autotune as well. There's a workflow where you do essential things in Melodyne and then you push it through Autotune afterward. One big thing that was harped on in the class as far as your plugins go is you always want to leave the first insert clear, just in case you want to pop Melodyne up there. And yeah, so any vocal track, if you're doing anything like EQing, filtering, put it on insert B, put it on insert C, but don't put it on insert A because you'll likely end up putting Melodyne there. Great class, great instructor. I was fortunate to have Eric Kundel as my lab instructor actually for this class. He typically doesn't do this class, but he was called in and he was more than happy to do it. He is the most amazing lab instructor. I'm sorry, other lab instructors, but like nobody is on the level of Eric Kundel. He is the best, just best teacher. Like the heart he has for it. He is at Full Sail not because of the money. He does and can make more money as a mixing engineer. He mixes and masters professionally, but he has this heart for teaching and sharing his knowledge with others. That's why he's there. And he makes sure like you're not screwing around at Full Sail. If you're going to learn, learn. Don't just sit here and just try to get through the lab. Make sure you understand. He wants to make sure you're understanding things, not just getting the lab done. He could care less about whether or not you get the lab done. He wants you to get the info into your head. If you have to retake the class, no shame. Retake it until you understand it, because understanding the material is super important. And I love that about him. Fantastic fella. And I was super fortunate to have him in a later class. So after vocal production, we have professional writing. So professional writing has you write it's like a email basically, but you're writing not a prompt. What was the term used? Let me just look at the class. What was the term that was used? Proposal. So you're writing a professional proposal to a company or to a specific person, actually, not just a company, but a specific person. I almost said Pacific. Gross. A specific person at a company, and you do research on them. You need to understand the company's values, all that, and explain what kind of thing you could do. I ended up doing like a collaboration between Rabbit Incorporated and C28 where I didn't actually send it, and hopefully Jesse doesn't see this embarrassing clip, but I was doing a mock thing where I was emailing Jesse Liu of Rabbit Incorporated saying, hey, I think it'd be fantastic to work. I'll fund the project. I think we could have a suite of tools for audio engineering powered by Rabbit OS, where you can have it automatically clean up sessions. So you have like a messy session from a client. You just get the Rabbit OS on it and you have it clean up the session. And it's a thing that can run on device. Requires a beefy machine, but it can run on device. That'd be cool. Maybe we have to do it in the cloud, but you could probably get it to work on device. But action models are pretty intense, so you need like a pretty high-end computer. Yeah. But writing the whole thing out, a lot of critiques. Honestly, I'm going to be super legit with this class. It's all opinions. It's all the opinion of the instructor. If she doesn't like your dialect, the words you use, you'll get points off. So if you have a certain regional dialect or way of speaking that is not perceived by her as professional, then you'll get marked off points. There are certainly some areas of concern there with certain cultural discrimination that could go on, and you had people that were a little bit upset about that. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I don't want to like cancel her. Screw that. But yeah, the class I think was ultimately a bit of a waste of time. I hate to say that, but really, there are 3 classes throughout my entire Full Sail journey that were a waste of time. This is one of them. I did not learn anything new, and the class is very like I don't know what the right word is, but it assumes that you learn something. It's the class itself is framed in this very I'm the mighty savior of your stupid English and you don't know how to speak. I'm helping you. So you have to write reflections on what you learned through doing the assignment. And it's like, I learned nothing. I learned that you don't like it when this word is used and that you think everyone is a machine if they speak eloquently. I did not like the class, as you can see. So I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to move on from professional writing. Next class after professional writing is Project and Portfolio 4, which actually I think I had that in tandem with professional writing. So I had both these classes at the same time. So Portfolio 4, I was super fortunate to have Magdiel Concepcion. He is a brilliant instructor, super chill, and really awesome. Just like, I love when they're charismatic teachers. So it was nice having that contrast from the instructor that's like, so this class has you pick a song that's been recorded and you are now professionally mixing this recorded song. It's very similar to Portfolio 3, where you were recording your own song. I think I talked about this. And you had to mix it and you were getting critiques from the instructor back and forth. Same thing, except you didn't record the song. Now you're mixing for a client. So yeah, you pick a song and you mix it. I can't show you, unfortunately, just because it's like Full Sail's IP. And there's some things I can show you that are Full Sail's IP, but I think that this is definitely not one of them that I cannot. In fact, I think Full Sail has educational rights to use this, but Full Sail doesn't even own this stuff. So definitely super can show it. But yeah, mixing a song. It was a rock song. The one I picked was Running Out. I forget the name of the artist, but if you know that song, yeah, kind of like the Full Sail guy. Apparently they stopped doing that. There's this like gospel song that in recording principles they would play to showcase EQing and compression and stuff. And the guy was just like, it was a super charismatic dude that was like, yeah, give thanks and praise his people. Yes, I do. Every day. Oh, yeah. It was the goofiest thing, but it always put people in a good mood. I actually still have that as my ringtone. I did a little mix of that with the vocals in there. So oh, it was a goofy song. But this iconic song from Full Sail, so if you go through the class and you're like, oh my goodness, C2 did Running Out, I'm going to do Running Out, cool. I'd love to hear your mix if you could like email it to me or something. I don't know. So yeah, that class was great. Love that. And Magdiel's got a great ear, and he's able to give a lot of fantastic advice when it comes to mixing. He's really able to pick out what you did from just the audio file. Does a fantastic job. Knows a lot. Great fella. So next up, I had audio post-production. This is an awesome course. Not one of my favorites, unfortunately, but still super awesome. Audio post-production has you working in 5.1 environments to mix for film. So you learn all about background editing, vocal editing, Foley. So you had to do Foley for a track. In fact, I will show you the work that I did for this class. I don't want to, but I will. I technically probably shouldn't show you. So maybe I can go through the YouTube editor, and if unfortunately Full Sail's like, yo, mate, take that down, and I have to, I will. Because I didn't shoot the film, so I don't have rights to use the image, but I did do all of the audio. So, and of course the sound libraries that I used for gunshots and whatnot, you know, that's certainly there. YouTube algorithm, I was talking about the sounds of them, not that there are no pew-pews over here. YouTube algorithm. But here is that thing. Pew-whoop.
Ryan, get down! Ryan, get your up! Get in that hole and return fire! Move! Ryan, get your head out of your Ugh. What are you doing, Ryan? Ryan, get your back here! Where are you going?
Don't move. Sit back down. Sit back down. Stop. Stay where you are.
I'm not. I can't believe I went beep whoop. That was so dumb. But yeah, that was that. Yeah, I said bad words. Ooh, but we'll keep it family friendly, good Christian content here. So audio post production, that's your culmination class. That's where you, not your culmination. Sorry, that was your culmination assignment. That's where all the skills you learn, you apply. And throughout the class, you're actually mixing stuff for Pacific Rim, which is cool. So you get the video of the suit up scene from Pacific Rim where they're getting into the massive mech thing. Sorry, I haven't seen the film, so I know I'm speaking like someone who's ignorant because I am. But you have that scene and you have to grab all the elements. You have to do the Foley or edit some footsteps to fake Foley, which is another skill that kind of shows like if you can't do Foley, but you can get like accurate sounding footsteps, you can edit them in. But it's not ideal. It's always ideal to have a Foley artist for all these things. Yeah. So next class. Next up, we have advanced audio workstations. So similar to audio workstations that you'll have early on in your Full Sail journey, at least from my degree plan, I did. They might move things around. I've been speaking with a lot of the department chairs, and it seems like we'll get a lot of movement in the next few months, just trying things out, saying, hey, is this good? Is this good? Some people not knowing the right things at certain classes, so want to make sure students are understanding things right and they have the pipeline set correctly. They're always making changes, adapting as they move in, because Full Sail stays on the bleeding edge of tech. So as new stuff comes in, Full Sail's like, okay, we're going to teach this. So as AI systems come in, especially in the Pro Tools, in I think 2025.1, they're going to have Ava, the AI system that Avid has. They're going to make Ava a big part of it, especially for vocal editing. So you can drag in a clip, and for audio post, you can just have it automatically give you the dialogue lines and set the markers and stuff. It's super cool. But that's not released yet. So anyway, we're in advanced audio workstations. No more of that 5.1 mixing stuff from the last class. We'll focus on this. So super awesome. Had Eric Kundell again as lab instructor. He's officially the lab instructor for this class. Because this is his bread and butter, is working in mixing and mastering, but mixing for this class. So the main thing in this class that you were going through is the setup for a studio, understanding HDX systems. So what is that? Plugins require DSP, or digital signal processing, on your computer. This MacBook Pro is really powerful. This MacBook Pro will still introduce a lot of latency. It's still doing it now. I can hear maybe about 10 milliseconds of latency round trip from what I'm hearing. Even like what's crazy is the reflections from my wall are hitting me before what's coming into my ear is hitting me. So there's that. Yeah, I've got latency. I got a few things on this. I have my compressor. I have my EQ. I have the dynamics on the EQ. I have Soothe, which is off because that would be crazy latency. Other things. I forget all in all what's in my chain. I haven't really looked at it in a hot minute. I just know that it sounds all right. Yeah. But in this class, you're learning about those systems. I didn't finish my point. My point was this. You can buy an HDX card for about $5,000, $7,000 maybe. It's a lot. And this card has crazy DSP. And you can run your plugins on this instead of on here. So you can do stuff live, and you can track things live with those plugins on with basically no latency. Not milliseconds, nanoseconds of latency. It's fast. So that's the importance of that. And understanding as well the general workflow of your studio. How do you get audio from point A to point F? How does it get there? I think I counted right. I may not have. But one of the things you have to do in this class is you create a... Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Is it in homework? Might be in homework. You design a studio. I have no idea where this is at. Okay, cool. All right. But you need something to pick up your microphone. So you need a preamp that can be in something, or it can be a separate unit. But you have a separate unit, that's your preamp. Then that feeds into your analog to digital converter. So you have a to D converter, analog to digital, that then feeds, if you have an HDX system, feeds into, via DigiLink, your HDX card that feeds into your computer. Lots of different connection types. You can run things digital through ADAT, which is like Ethernet basically, but it's not actually Ethernet. It's an optical cable. It's not Ethernet, but it looks like that. It has that like blocky kind of plug and play. It's not Ethernet. That was a stupid thing to say. There is also Ethernet, like Dante. Dante is huge. We learned about Dante a little bit. In fact, you have to get certified level 2 in this class. So I'm level 2 certified in Dante protocol. So pretty much any Dante system that exists, I can take a look at it, know how it works, and make subscriptions. Subscriptions is how you link things together, kind of like patching in Dante. So instead of patch cables, you have subscriptions. You can subscribe things to certain channels. Weird term, but that's what Audinate chose to use. So we will use Audinate's terms. But yeah, you have to get certified in that. Loads of different connectors. Again, you learn about how many channels they support. You learn about what kind of interfaces exist, why to go from one over another. You learn about price. You learn about clocking, which is huge. Clocking. So the rate at which your your analog to digital converter is taking samples. Because right here, my voice, there is no sample rate for my voice. There's a sample rate for the audio, but the sound has no sample rate. The SPL, the sound pressure, like the waves in the air, there's no sample rate. It's infinite. So you have to take samples every so often. Right now, it's about 48,000 per second. 48K. So I have 48K samples per second, and that's happening very fast. So it's possible the machine can make a mistake, but it'll still record the sample. It's still all right. But you get skewing. Now that could be an issue. Because if you have different systems at the same sample rate, but they're skewing differently, ooh, you don't want that. You don't want that. So you can sync them to a master clock. Typically, it's going to come from your analog to digital converter, but it could be anything. In fact, you can have a separate device that is just the clock, and you feed these in via coaxial cables. Digilink has its way to do it, so you can use loop sync on Avid stuff, and you connect them via Digilink. Actually, I think I'm fairly certain it's Digilink, but it might still be the coaxial, but I'm almost certain it's Digilink. But loop sync allows all the devices to collectively work together. And it's like daisy chaining instead of having to spider out. Because if you don't daisy chain, you do actually have to spider out. You have to go, okay, here's your master clock, and it will have several outputs for all the receiving devices that get synced to the clock. Digilink's nice because you can avoid that and just connect one to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to another, to finally the origin. So you loop it, and then it syncs it. And that's how it gets its name. Very obvious, isn't it? Loads of things you'll learn in this class. Pay attention. It's going to be very important, especially for advanced session recording, understanding how the system is integrating, and go to the discovery workshops. I don't know if we have the same instructor, but Full Sail instructors tend to stick around for a decade or two. So Ken Corlew, if he is still around, email him. Email Ken before you take advanced session recording. Ask about the discovery workshops and see if you can attend them. Because, wow, there's going to be super important. I've already got my team pretty much set right now for advanced session recording, and get them in advance. I talked about this before. I only got them 2 months in advance, but, still get them in advance and plan things with them. I already have my band picked. I'm pretty confident in who I've got selected. Nice rock band. But hopefully they have people as well. I'll see. We haven't had the discussion yet. But understanding the way these systems are set up is going to be super important for your understanding of signal flow, knowing what is actually happening here. And also the peripherals in Pro Tools now, understanding, okay, why are you connecting this peripheral? What is it doing? How is it affecting your signal? How is it affecting these things? They're important to know. So next class. I hope I'm not running too long with this. It's going to be a lot of editing. But next up, we have Project and Portfolio 4. Again, the fifth one, the 4. So this is the one that's sticking, I think, is Project and Portfolio 4. Which might be what we have now. But for me, this is like 4.1. This is 4.5. It's the one before 5, that's also 4. In this class, you're doing the same stuff you're doing in audio post-production, but now you pick a film. So what I did is I selected a scene from the Loki series and I did all the redesign for that. And my clip looks like this.
I need to get out there.
So very, it sounds all right, I suppose. I shouldn't talk down. I think I did a decent job. I probably should have added dialogue. One of the critiques that the instructor had for me was he wanted like a kind of electricity sound for when the temporal radiation hits Loki. So I have that. It's not great, I'll be honest. I probably could have picked something better, but it was like last minute. But you'll listen to everyone's final product at the end, seeing it all. And unfortunately, I think my classmates, they either didn't have the time or the work ethic to do it, or the know-how, which is unfortunate if they didn't ask. A lot of the projects seemed very lacking in stuff. You're only meant to pick something that's between 30 to 45 seconds. I think that's 15 to 30. I forget what it is, but there's some time. It's like a very small amount of time. So it's like you have time to work on that, surely, for a month. And you're really just left to your own devices. There are lectures. There are no labs, from what I can recall. There are labs, but it's really just work on your project. There's not like a set goal. It's like do the thing and you check in. It's a very relaxed class. In fact, it's the probably most relaxed class ever in the entire thing. Because you pretty much get a grade for just doing anything. So it's a matter of, do you care? Do you care? If you're going to put effort in, you'll put effort in and you'll learn something because you'll get critiqued and you'll have something you can improve on. But if you put no effort in, like there are projects that had no background, there are projects that had one layer of audio for stuff. Now, a Foley, of course, is going to be one layer. But like things that were very not well done. And I have some issues in mine. I'll admit, I have issues in mine. But unfortunately, a lot of the student examples weren't very exciting. There were 3 or 4 that were great. They were really awesome to listen to. And the rest, meh. So please help your classmates enjoy the time, because you're going to be in the dub stage eventually, where you can see your film with your audio there in the dub stage, big cinema. So you see the thing you've edited on a big screen with everyone, lights dimmed and LFE if you put that in and stuff. Like it's great. You could even mix it in 5.1 and it'll make it work. Yeah. So fun class, very relaxed, and getting to apply the skills that you receive from audio post. So what's next? I think alongside that class, I also had art history. That's the next class up here. So I'm pretty sure that's right. Yeah. Art history. It was another one of those classes that was a waste of time. It was not. I don't know why it's there. I'm going to be deadly honest with you. I think it's there just to add credits that they can give you so it can be an accredited university. I know that sounds like I'm talking down a Full Sail. I promise you it's not. It's just the class was super unrelated to anything I was doing in audio. It was a class that explained what a line was. I'm not lying to you. A class that explained what color was. I'm not lying to you. A class that explained how fluffy looking images change the texture of the painting. I'm not lying to you. It's another one of those pretentious classes. That's the word, pretentious. It's a pretentious class, just like professional writing, where it's like, what did you learn from this brilliant class of ours? Nothing. You told me that the color blue makes people sad. I learned nothing from your course. You told me that lines control the shape of things. I learned nothing from your class. Like, there's a little bit of research you do into historical art periods. That's kind of cool. I'm an audio engineer. I'm not curating art exhibits like you do in one of the major projects for the course. It's a waste of time. It's such a weird class. There's a video production class in the pipeline now. I never took it. That makes sense. This one is so bizarre. Why is there an art history class? It's bizarre. It's a class that's like teaching you these elementary... I have things I want to say that I won't because I'll lose GPS if I say them. Just know the class is super pretentious. It's a pain. It is aggravating. It makes you feel so talked down to. It's like I've like said to myself many times, I'm a almost quarter-century-old Air Force veteran pursuing audio engineering, being told what a color is and how it affects emotions and that lines affect shape. What am I, 5? I don't like the class. Okay, we'll move on. We're going to move on. Next, sound design for games. Awesome class. Really fun. Sound design for games has you work through sound design. So you have many projects where you were taking the audio, you're taking the visuals and you are designing that. The labs are where the meat of this class is, so not the lectures. The lectures are awesome. In the lectures, you have the instructor go through the history of game audio. So Dale was my instructor's name. Dale's awesome, Dale Stump. And Dale worked on a lot of the Madden games. So you're on a lot of like the college football and the sports games, you know? So all those are things that he worked on. And he has a lot of experience to give out. And he loves when students are passionate about video games. I think it's a scenario I would love to get into. I think eventually if I could work for like Valve, that'd be super dope. That'd be cool. But I know they only hire industry pros and they don't really hire. They hire, but it's not like you can cold call them. They're really looking at, okay, are you an industry pro? We'll keep you on the back burner. We'll let you know. Yeah, come on over. It's the Cool Kids Club. Valve isn't just like willy-nilly hiring people. They got about 300 people for the massive corporation that it is. They got about 300 people. Activision's got maybe a couple thousand. No, 2,000 maybe, but let's fact check myself real quick. Yeah, so Valve, as of 2021, had 336 employees. I know that's gone up since the HLX project took off, but let's see. Activision. Okay, I was wrong about Activision because it's more. 13,000 employees. So you think, who's larger, Activision or Valve? They're kind of on the same footing, maybe. So maybe they have the same amount of employees. Activision has 13,000 as of October 25th, 2023. And Valve has about 300. So they're the Cool Kids Club. They only hire the best of the best, and you gotta not just be someone who worked on the audio, but like the senior manager of the audio. Like you have to be up there to work for Valve. So I'll get there eventually, maybe. We'll see. You know, good old C28 in 2046 or something. Working for EA, doing whatever, and working on the, I don't know, Mirror's Edge 3, hopefully. I would love if they did a third Mirror's Edge. And yeah, then I can work for Valve. That'd be a dream. Sound design for games, again, the meat of it is going to be in your labs where you're redesigning things. I can give you 2 examples of that. So one example I have is the main menu. So there's one where you redesign the main menu. So I did that for the game Hades, and it looks like this. And then you also have one where you're redesigning the weapon sounds for a game. So again, Hades, and I did this. So lots of different opportunities to do cool things. And you only get 4 hours. Correction, for those, you only get 2 hours to work on everything. So from seeing the project to finishing it, 2 hours. So keep that in mind. Now that I know you were judging me, like, that's weird. Why did you not have any backgrounds for that one with the shield? That's crazy. It's so simple. It is simple, but I was working on other things. Yeah. And these can actually go into the sound design portfolio for the class I'm in now. Instructor that we have for this course, Dale Stump was awesome. The lab instructor, Carlos, awesome as well. Carlos has a lot of great wisdom, having worked in the same industry. So, yeah. Two great fellas to ask questions to, and loved it. Great class. Actually, one last thing that I'll mention. A big part of this is understanding deliverables and assets. Naming conventions, copy and paste. Don't try to type it out and get it right. If you're one character off, it's not going to work in the engine. So you learn how to use WISE throughout this class, WWISE. It's audio middleware solution pipeline for integrating audio into your engine. And a lot of engines support audio natively, like Unreal, Unity. They have audio engines, but most people are going to use WISE anyway because it gives you more stuff you can do. And in fact, DAWs like Reaper, just learned today in the next class that I'll talk about, which is the one I'm in now. In Reaper, you have integrations directly with WISE. You can like open up a sound back in Reaper, open up your sound in Reaper back in WISE. That's pretty cool. Reaper is just dope in general. In general, I want to explore it more. Assets, deliverables, understanding how to top and tail things, loops. Loops are super cool. The way you do that, I guess I could briefly explain. Basically, you get a selection, you cut it in half, you take the first bit, you move it over to the end, like the second bit, so they're right next to each other, no space, nothing cut out. You crossfade, and then it loops forever, perfectly, as long as it's not like super dynamic and you get like a thing at the start. There are other considerations, but like it'll work for white noise. Like if you just record white noise, it'll loop infinitely for that. Yeah. And a long crossfade too, depending on the thing. That varies. Like it could be a rhythmic thing that you need to do a quick crossfade, but whatever. Next class, this class. Okay. We made it. We're up to date. How long has it been? Let's see. How long is this video? Oh, great. 50 bloody minutes. 50 minutes. That's going to be fun to edit. That's going to be great to edit. I can't wait to edit that. I don't want to edit this. Okay. Portfolio 5. this is the class where you're going to make your demo reel. So throughout this course, you're going to have labs, which I have had 0 of yet. It is the first class where you can have a wacky schedule, at least as far as I've seen. There are labs that start at 9 and end. You ready? 30 minutes into the next day. They end at 00:30. 12:30 a.m. Wow. And then you have lecture in 8.5 hours. Wow. I'm fortunate to not be one of those lab groups, but my lab group is 5 to 9, so I'm almost wondering, is it worth it to swap with someone who wants to be in lab group 1 from 2? And then shift my schedule 12 hours. Wake up midday. Do lab. Stay awake. Go to lecture. Sleep. That might be the call for this class. Gives you a lot more free time, I think, because you don't have this big waiting period between lecture and lab in your schedule. Now, you don't ever have a lecture and lab on the same day. But the point is, you'd feel as though you have more time when in one sleep cycle or one wake cycle, you have both. Just random thing I'm thinking about because we've barely gotten into this class, but there's a lot still mentioned. The instructor for this class is Thomas Owens, who is the department, or one of the 3 current department chairs for recording arts. So super cool. One of the top dogs is here. So I've collected 2 of the 3 Infinity Stones. I just need to get Jarrett Dyson to teach a class, and then I'll have all 3 Infinity Stones as instructors. But Thomas is cool. Thomas is awesome. Super knowledgeable guy. I mean, that's kind of a requirement to be at Full Sail, is you kind of have to be a knowledgeable individual. With the exception of a few courses, I suppose. No comment. That was rude. I shouldn't have said that, but you know what I'm trying to say. But right now, we're just in the getting started section. I really hope, really hope I can continue doing these vlogs. I don't know. My next class is Advanced Session Recording, the most intense class of the entire degree program. Yeah. I'm probably not going to be doing any vlogs next month. But if I can give you 4 this month, cool. Maybe I can give you more. But we'll see. But throughout this class, you're going to be redesigning things that you're given in lab. And same as last month. This is just the portfolio version of last month of sound design for games. This is now sound design for games as a portfolio project, or class, that is, portfolio class. And you can make you should already have the website for your redesign. I think that was made in Portfolio 4. In Portfolio 4, you made your film and games redesign portfolio. So it'll go on there, and you'll make a massive demo reel at the end of the course. I think you make demo reels every week out of the material you have from the different labs. I'll have to look into the materials more to know for sure. I could literally just see that now. Unavailable. Demo reel is not available. Okay, so not my fault. But as you can see, I'm a terrible student. I've got a 0 in the class right now. So, oh no, just because like I don't have any weighted work that's done yet. I'm going to do that soon. I think starting tomorrow. So yeah. So Portfolio 5, I don't have a whole lot of info for yet, but we went over kind of what it's like getting jobs in the industry. Why is that? Getting jobs in the industry. I don't know what that is, but it's difficult to say. There are game jams you can do. There are conferences you can go to. And ultimately, you're going to want to go to a big studio. You're going to want to go to EA, Activision, Ubisoft, people like that who offer intern positions. Well, they'll pay for you to relocate. They'll pay for you to work for them as you intern. and get started there. Not somewhere like Valve. Not like an indie company that can't afford to pay you or they don't want to pay you. Not dissing Valve. I absolutely love Valve. Favorite company. Right below Rabbit Incorporated. Right below them. It's Rabbit Incorporated and then Valve. That order. We're going to learn a lot about what it takes to give life to a game project and to put your own flavor on it. So I don't have a whole lot to say, but I guess I could catch you up with what's happening in my life. So I'm graduating. Tentative graduation date is the 1st of August, 2025. Oh my goodness, we made it to 2025. Do you remember 2023? I had pink hair and I looked wild. Yeah. I dressed a little bit more modestly than I did then. Change in, theological, philosophical stuff. I think, I don't know if I mentioned this before, but partway through Full Sail, I became a dedicated follower of Christ. And that's very important to me now. I had this spiel in vlog 102 from like 5-6 months ago that I recorded, edited, and then didn't upload because I didn't like what I said. And I was like, I'm not going to re-record that. I'm tired. And I gave up. So I'm not going to say anything controversial because religion. But I think it's very important that the gospel is spread, that people come to know Christ. And that's become a core value for me. So if you've come initially because this C28 fella is wild and, you like that energy I had, it's gone. I know that there was a point in time where I consider myself non-binary. I was very against these labels of man and woman and society is all, why can't we just be equal footing and treat everyone the same? And I can't even say the continuation because it's not like a mean thing I'm saying, but something clicked for me. I'm like, it's unrealistic to just expect that. People are different. Men and women are different. And that's become a controversial thing to say. So it's like, I was avoiding saying that, which is crazy to have to avoid saying men and women are different. Crazy thing to have to avoid saying. And in fact, I'm almost certain that the YouTube algorithm will suppress this video simply because I've said that. I'm not making any commentary on someone's identity because I know what it's like to live a variant lifestyle. I know what it's like to live with a variant gender identity. So I used to. And it feels like the world's against you. It feels like this anger of, why can't people get my pronouns right? Why can't people respect me for who I am? People are different. Nobody owes you respect. It would be very nice if we did. As a follower of Christ, we should. Everyone deserves. Like, I'm contradicting to say deserve. We should give everyone respect. It is the, and respect isn't enabling. Respect is being loving to one another. I'm going to get into a spiel of like stuff that will get me canceled or like whatnot because of religious beliefs. And I'm not going to do that. Ultimately, it's important that people are able to live freely and experience life, have their own expression, but it's more important that they find Christ. And that is an important distinction for me that I've come to realize. I'm so glad I've had the life path I've had. It's been great. I don't regret the way I've lived. Well, there are regrets. I don't regret the way I've explored my identity as an individual. I don't regret that. Because I've had so much perspective, and from all sides of the political aisle, when people are bickering, I get you. I get what you mean. It's like you have this profound understanding of all sides, and so I know it sucks, doesn't it? Both sides. I know what you're complaining about. I think it's people take a truth and they take it so far that another truth no longer becomes truth. And that's where you get this bickering, this anger. We live in the United States, people should be free. I would like it if all people could follow Christ. I don't want that to be law. It'd be great. Like it's a difficult thing to say, right? I'm getting into a spiel. I'm going to not get into a spiel, okay? Because YouTube, I know you're not happy about the things I'm saying. So I'm not going to say them. Yeah. This ain't X. There's no freedom of speech. I get it. So enough of that. The album is finally coming out. Lost Melodies and Unloved Timbers Volume 2. It's been approved for release by my publisher, my distributor, and it's coming out on the 9th. That is... I feel stupid for counting that. I'm tired, okay? It comes out in 4 days. It's the 5th. It's easy math. I feel dumb. It's okay. Comes out on the 9th. So, Friday of this week, it's coming out. Maybe not the week you're watching this because, like, the future exists and whatnot. Or I guess it doesn't exist yet, but it's going to exist because the 9th. And you may be watching this on the week of the 13th or the 20th or in the year 2067. Shout out if you're here from 2067. I look so young, don't I? Look at me now, 67. Crazy. Hopefully I'm still alive. Anyway, I forgot my point. Don't ramble, people. Don't ramble. You'll lose your point. But Lost Melodies, Unloved Timbers Volume 2. That was the point. Comes out. I finally did it. Yay. It's got some wacky songs in it. Maybe I'll do a little video on it the day it releases explaining the songs, but they don't have any profound meaning to me outside of maybe one. It's just fun songs that I would have let just rot away on the hard drive if I didn't post them. Showed it off to people. People were like, "Oh, that's cool. I like that." And so I was like, you know what? Let's let them put that in their music library. That's the point. Releasing the stuff I don't want to release because my work will never be good enough for me. No one's work is ever good enough for them. Rarely is that the case. We're always going to set the bar higher and higher because we have more skills we've accumulated. We've always done cooler stuff. So release the song that sucks. Do it. Maybe not something that's like actually terrible, but something that's bad. Release the bad music. Don't release the terrible music, but release the bad music. Do you get the distinction? I hope you get the distinction. That's the whole point. Yeah. I forgot the way I did these. I usually do like a C2A segment, but smooth transition. It's fine. My beard is so much longer, isn't it? You know, it's crazy what a few months does. I guess it's not that much longer, but it's a little bit longer. Oh, wow. I did it. I did the video log. Can't believe it. Well, if you enjoyed today's content, you can subscribe. Click that little subscribe button and I'll show up in your feed from time to time. If you really want me to show up a lot, you can hit the bell and the bell will notify you every time there's a video. Yeah. I don't want to bother you. You don't have to hit the bell. You really don't. You don't have to hit the bell. It's okay. You can just subscribe. Honestly, I prefer if you didn't hit the bell. Focus on your life. Phones are a cancer anyway, so avoid them. I say recording this on a phone. You watching this probably on a phone. There's so much I could say, but I won't. Yeah. Well, again, subscribe if you enjoyed the video. If you super enjoyed it, you can join. Become a control voltage. There are a few perks. Namely, the Discord server. But I'm going to be super honest with you. I'm thinking about changing things around for control voltages. I would love to connect with you all more. There are 3,000 of you, subscribers. 3,000 subscribers. And the community engagement's been nice. I post on the community posts and I get good engagement. Shorts, I get good engagement there. But like, it'd be cool to have a space for us, wouldn't it? And that exists. But right now it only exists for control voltages. I think that's unreasonable. So I think I'm going to be taking that perk away from control voltages and giving it to everyone. I think what I'll do is I'll set up the Discord server to be open for all subscribers. I don't know what I'm going to do to verify your subscribes, but probably nothing. It'll just be a fun space. I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need some Discord moderators to help me make sure the thing is not going to be raided with bots and spamming and hackers and all that. So I could avoid that. Avoid getting all that bad stuff. And, you know, if you could help out, I'd appreciate it. Yeah, I want to connect with y'all more. I just don't know exactly what to do. I would love to do more synth stuff. Liz here, great machine. I could do more synth stuff. But as I said, I don't even know if there's going to be another video log. Like eventually, surely there will be. There's going to be 103. There will be vlog 103 at some point. That point is maybe not this month or this year. But it might be. It might be tomorrow. But I don't know when. I want to do more stuff, but I'm not doing more stuff. And Full Sail's got me stupid busy. So we'll just see how it goes. I don't want to be a Daniel Downer. Daniel Downer. Debbie Downer is the way, but I'm a man, so Daniel, you know, rhyming. I don't know what to do. Okay, bye.